Well, welcome to Building the Seminoles, Year 3. Things went wrong in Year 2, as we did sort of expect. We certainly knew that it wasn't going to be a great year on the field, but then to lose as much as we did in the portal, to have to field what we're about to here for the 2027 season was shocking. And I had heard that keeping players was a lot harder this time around, and that really wound up being the case. So we have to be a little bit more careful about who we recruit and what their deal breaker is. We're going to want to aim for proximity to home guys, coach prestige when that's high enough, all those ones that don't fluctuate as much and that you can control a little bit more in a dynasty such as this, where you're not playing every game, and that play style thing is just really something you can't do much about. But anyway, let's meet the Year 3 Florida State Seminoles, shall we? It's not a pretty sight, as you can see the overall ratings of the team. We lost our top 2 quarterbacks in the transfer portal, so that means redshirt freshman Ernest Lindsey or true freshman Dakota Speed are it. That is all we have. We somehow got Cam Davis back. He was one of the guys who did transfer, and we failed to persuade him to stay. But we were able to bring him back in the portal, so make that make sense. We really should flip our playbook ahead of this season, just be a run-heavy team, and Cam Davis might win a Heisman. A problem with that is our offensive line also stinks. True freshman running back Isaiah Honeycutt makes his Seminoles debut. We have some okay receivers, LaWayne McCoy, BJ Gibson, Tremaine Kiernan, but we lost, I think, one or both of the guys that we were excited about, the wide receiver position, after the Year 1 recruiting cycle. We do bring in 2 true freshmen into Tuawalalo, whatever that is, and Hassan Adebawore, which I don't know why I can pronounce that name and not the other. Tight ends, it ain't great. It really isn't great, but you get into one of the biggest problems of this whole year in the offensive line. It is just putrid and will get torn to shreds in the ACC, which isn't even a great power conference. It just isn't. Senior Amari Williams, he's going to be leaving. We got big gaps on the edge heading into the future here at Florida State. The right edge is fine. We got a couple of redshirt freshmen here that could carry the load the rest of the way. True freshman Brett Hart. I did drop the T from his name, by the way, so he is officially the hitman. KJ Sampson at defensive tackle is the only thing that we have worth a damn at that position. Sam linebacker, nothing good. Ethan Pritchard might be something maybe next year, not this year. And I mean, it's just we have so many redshirt or true freshmen starting that it's just not good. Corner, we're surprisingly okay at this position. It's not great, but it is one of our better position groups. We do have KJ Kirkland, Sr., Brandon Jacob, Sr. Safety is a big problem. What isn't, though, is strong safety. We do have star development Ron Lyles, true sophomore, at this position, who could grow into a player that could do something for us. You just don't know. Jake Weinberg in his redshirt junior year, and Kirk McChristopher in his true sophomore season. Those are your Year 3 Florida State Seminoles. That's how tough this is about to be. And before we do play number 2 Georgia here in Week 1, and reminder what we did in Week 1 against top 10 teams, the first 2 times we have beaten top 10 opponents in Week 1 in each of the first 2 years of this dynasty. It will end right here, almost surely. Some conservative stuff recruiting-wise. We didn't go too crazy here. We are going for the number 2 player in the state, number 2 at his position in Gaffney. But we aren't trying to go after a 5-star quarterback this year. Titus Trope is going to be the one that we want to go to just straight away. And we actually kept this small enough to the point that we just have all of this already here. And something I actually didn't even realize was Tavares Hurd has already committed. And that was after just my initial off-stream recruiting. So we actually did get an instant commit, which is interesting. I haven't really ever gotten one of those before, so that's a whole lot of fun. But yeah, there we go. That's what we have going on in recruiting. We're keeping it small to focus on as many 4-star targets as we can, and then getting into the 3 stars and maybe even some stray 4s or maybe even 5s as this season progresses. All right, so year 3 for Scott Stopp starts at home, maybe, against the number 2 team in the country in the Georgia Bulldogs, as long as we aren't playing in some silly week 1 thing. You know what? I'll take that. That's way closer than I would have expected that game to be. I really thought that 21 points or more was more the realistic option. 37-27 loss to the number 2 team in the country. And one thing that we can almost say for certain is that we will not go defeated. And that is, for the only reason is because we finally got lucky enough to play an FCS school in our computer-generated schedule. So it's FCS Southeast starting at 11 a.m. Here in week 2. Just a quick check on recruiting. It didn't look like we needed to do anything here, but we're going to take a look at just what sort of standing we're at right now. So we're leading on Chester Gaffney. That's a real big swing at one of these top players right now. Dodson, too. We actually are trailing on Titus Troop, which is a little unfortunate. Still some time. Might want to try and schedule visits early. I don't know if we're going to get by this year not really using them. Tight battle for the right tackle, Josh Elens with Oregon right now. Leading on Spencer Schrader. An athlete. This is a running back. We also have Trey Lyles. I really disliked his name, to be honest. His only offer for the moment, which is a little bit scary, might be a bust, but overall, so far so good there. Manu at left guard. That's a gem, by the way, and we lead here early on. We're going to have to make a lot more progress here soon because Florida and Alabama are in his top 5. Fabian Coleman leading there. Trailing on defensive tackle Hugh Fasano. And there's some heavy competition here. Ohio State, to name a few. Hasn't been offered by Penn State, Clemson, or Bama yet. You feel like that's only a matter of time with Ohio State interested. And then we're really going to be screwed. Hurd already committed. Gerald Holyfield at corner. We lead there. Alex Appleton, a slim lead over Ole Miss. Kyle Cormier very early, but we lead there as well. Kevin Ingram, that's a lead. And nobody's recruiting kickers this early on, but we lead on Zach Hoffrichter, who we scouted. I don't know why I just sat with this kicker here, because it's not like he's going to be any sort of crazy gem or anything. He's not even the top kicker in his class. I think I just went based off name, to be honest. I filled out this recruiting class a couple days ago. ACC Defensive Player of the Week against FCS Southeast. 1 interception, 7 tackles, and a deflection for cornerback Edwin Joseph. Not so bad. Okay, wow. That was just about what I was hoping for. 59-0. This defense that is going to be the only reason this team has any sort of success does indeed do its job. And the offense was able to do a good bit against a low-level school. So we got a week 3 bye. Our bye weeks are split up crazy again. We do still have to play 10 straight games here in year 3, but it's better than the 12 straight that we had to play in Season 2. All right, we're top 5 on a good chunk of these guys, which is good. And we haven't been locked down on anybody yet. So to be honest, I'm pretty content just leaving this as it is, especially this early in the year. The fact that we're top 5 this early. So unless these teams are going to schedule visits like really, really quickly, I don't know if they're going to be able to do enough. They're going to have to schedule like a week 4, week 5 visit, something like that, to really get this done. So I really like where we're at right now. All right, let's just go see how well recruiting is going. And that right there, I know Illinois, Miami, Tennessee, they could still make some moves. That's pretty big there on Chester Gaffney, because that visit with Auburn is real late. Now, he hasn't named his top 3 yet. That's the scary part. Not sure how that's going to go. Kai Dotson's still very early on. We do still trail on Titus Troop. And we don't really have any hours right now, which is unfortunate. So we might have to scramble for quarterback again and try and get somebody in the portal. Unless 3-star quarterbacks are just going to be the way to go here in this one. But elsewhere, we are in there in the top 3, top 5 on just about everybody on our board. So I really like what's going on right now. All right, week 4 after a bye, 1-1 Florida State goes to the Big Ten to play 1-1 Illinois, who's already lost the Big Ten game. Maybe our defense is good enough to beat Illinois. Maybe they're not. It's a scary situation. We'll see how she goes. All right. Pretty big commit here early on to knock out one of those 4 stars very early. Fabian Coleman out of Winter Garden, Florida, and an edge player that we need so desperately with all of our left edge guys being seniors. It's huge. Hope he turns out. It's our only commit of the week, but we didn't get locked out. The only news here is that we are first on the kicker and first on Cormier. All right, so we lead on Gaffney still. He's probably going to name his top 3 this week, and still, I think Auburn canceled that visit. They had a visit with him, and all of a sudden it's gone. Now Miami has one in week 12, and that's even better. So that's sweet. Leading on Dotson. Leading on just a whole chunk of guys. Scrolling through to see if there's any... Oh, we might get the left guard in Manu Quinoans, I'm going to guess. We might get him this week over Alabama and Florida in-state as well. So 2 4-star commits already. Still looking really rough on Hugh. But, I mean, we're going to lose out on some. We're going to lose out on the corner here in Holyfield. Ooh. Big problems here with Epperson. So you know what? While we have the hours, and this is just a complete sellout, because I don't like where this is going. It's about our only chance is to schedule a week 6 visit with Georgia State. And it's still so early. I mean, I guess we could wait a week. We could wait a week. Hope he names this, because I think he's still top 5. He is. He could name his top 3. And then we might have a little bit more of a clue as to what his interest might be. So we're going to do that. Cormier, no competition right now. Ingram, it's a bit of a tight battle. Oregon's really the school that worries me the most in there. But we're kind of punching above our weight here, trying to get some of these California kids. We actually fell in interest, so something tells me Colorado had a visit. And then we could get a commit from the kicker and Hofrichter here very, very soon. See. So I guess we'll hang on to those hours. I know it's just wasting stuff. We could go after maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. Maybe we head back in. Because it does, I think, at least appear that we're going to miss out on Troop. I don't like our look right there. So let's go find another quarterback to add to the board. There's no way there's any 5 stars. Nope. 4 stars. Quandre Muse, pocket passer, no thanks. Matt Dent. Titus Troop, already on our board. Teddy Poe, a dual threat quarterback, who already has some interest in us. Why is this? It's just nothing but pocket passers here. Maybe we try and bring in a sure thing. And by a sure thing, I mean a 3-star that we're likely to get. Pure runner. I mean, we don't really have the points right now to try and scout anybody. Backfield creator is an archetype that I think I'm going to like a lot. Number 34 quarterback in this class. Tito Tancho, rather. A pure runner. I don't think that's what we... Alright, I know I said I didn't want pocket passers, but Scott Stopp is our coach, and we have Marcus Creed staring us in the face. Going after him. He's the one. There's no other way. So as we play here in week 5, We do hope for some good news on the recruiting trail coming up here in the next week or so. We've got 3-1, number 23 ranked Miami coming to Florida State here. I don't know. Maybe we can shock the world. Maybe. By the way, we lost to Illinois. We didn't even check the score. So let's be honest with ourselves. It's not going to go well. All right, well, before we figure out that we lost by 30 points, Trey Lyles does commit to Florida State. That's the only one. We got locked down on Holyfield. Well, we did see that coming, though. He was going to go to Clemson regardless of what we did. So, to be honest, that's fine with me. We did lose again, which means it is really, really important to get these recruits in as quickly as possible right now. Things are actually still looking very good on the number 12 player in this class, Chester Gaffney, on the left edge. That would be huge. It's actually looking pretty solid here on Kai Doxson. There's no visits or anything else going on there. Titus Trope is gonna go somewhere else. We just know that. Josh Lenz, that's looking pretty good. No visits scheduled. A week 10 visit with Georgia Tech for Spencer Schrader. That's looking fine. Oh, we are in a battle with Manu Quinones, as Evo has so politely pointed out. Hugh Fasano, this has been trending in the wrong direction the whole time with Ohio State and Virginia Tech on top of us. We lose out on Holyfield. That did appear to be something we expected. And now, if it's at all possible, and no, we waited too long. So we're going to lose out on both of those corner targets, which is not very good. Cormier, let's take a look here. His only offer. Looking good on that front. Kevin Ingram is just trending towards Colorado, and I don't think there's much we're going to be able to do about it. Hofrichter should commit this next week. And already, even though we didn't do the max that we could, Marcus Creed is looking like he's going to be a guy that we should be able to get. Whether it's someone we actually want or not, that remains to be seen. But us and Wake Forest, his only offer, so still plenty of time to get back up in that. A visit here. The problem with that is our visit is going to happen after Alabama's. So we really have to hope that we lock him up before that visit happens and that Alabama doesn't push him any farther. 4-star gem of a left guard would be absolutely massive to have. But I think in terms of guys on our board right now, we're pretty well set. I don't think we need to do too much, so let's go find a couple players to add. Maybe Romero is a bad choice. But you know what? If we want 4 stars at this stage, that's what we're going to have to go against. So we will do this and then just do everything we can minus sending the house. Maybe we send the house here on Romero. As in terms of just one last Hail Mary and see if something good's going to happen. And then we only have 40 to work with when it comes to Venable. So we'll do that. We'll spend the 40. Get out of here. All right, so this game was going to mean something. But all of a sudden doesn't mean all that much. Wanted to schedule a visit. I'm so used to not scheduling visits, I forgot how they work. You can't schedule them week of. Georgia Tech, Florida State. 3-2 versus 1-3. Would love a little bit of a turnaround here. All right, so this was trending in the right direction. 4-star right tackle out of Draper, Utah. Josh Elens commits. I am a bit worried if we button through to this next screen and it's the kicker that's all we got. We're going to hope that is indeed it. And, well, I mean, 2 of these we saw coming. Let's be honest with ourselves here. ACC Offensive Player of the Week, Week 6 versus Georgia Tech. 26 carries. Holy shit. Oh my god, I thought that was touchdowns. 206 yards. 7 yards per carry for Cam Davis. That any good? Alright, so since I've been very bad at checking these scores, you know what? Illinois, we only lost by 7. And then Miami, you only lose by 4. that really isn't that bad. We win a close one with Georgia Tech. Now, we face a little bit of a gauntlet here over our next 3 games. Number 3, UNC. Number 6, Clemson. Number 12, Duke. Goes kind of back down. You got 5-0, but unranked Pittsburgh. Before Cal and Syracuse. And then another top 10 team in Florida to end our year. But we have won our second game. We get a couple surprises along the way. We might just make a bowl game. Okay, so Troop goes to Washington. Again, kind of saw that coming. We got a lens. Schrader is so close. He should commit this week with that Week 10 visit. Shouldn't really be playing a factor. Quinones, he does go to Alabama. They jumped us right there at the very end. Not really a shock. We got locked out on Fasano because of what? I don't know. He just locked us out. The other corner in Epperson, we did get, I think, jumped by Ole Miss, even though it doesn't say that. So off the board he goes. Early indications still on Cormier. Nothing really much going on. Kevin Ingram, this isn't going to go our way either. But we do get the kicker in Hofrichter. Early lead on Marcus Creed. Carlos Romero, that just isn't going to happen. We might as well drop him from the board right now. And then Venable, honestly, same deal. So I feel like right now is when we start to look at the 3 stars. Don't let the rest of college football pick through them. Let's go find some we might like. All right, so we're going to have to waste a good chunk of hours just on scholarships this week for our 3 stars. I had even scouted Truman at some point. I don't even really know why he was off the board. Well, 2-3 Florida State is on the road against undefeated number 3 North Carolina. If there were to be a stunner, this would be one hell of a stunner. That would be really, really sweet. Now, it's not going to really turn around our season all that much, but we do want to make it back out to try and play games with this team at some point. So, making bowl games would be good. But let's get through week 7 and hope for some good recruiting wins this week. Last week was the week of disappointment that we already kind of knew was happening. Let's hope for 3 at minimum 4-star commits this week. Oh, man, not even the 4 stars we start out with. 5-star. Number 12 player in this class, Chester Gaffney out of Port St. Lucie, is a Florida State Seminole. That is our first 5-star of this dynasty. Massive, massive start. Oh. Well, that's it, but we don't get any bad news. Yeah, that's kind of about what we should have expected, to be honest. North Carolina goes 7-0. We get, really, for the first time all year, boat raced. Watch out for North Carolina when it comes to the national championship. But Florida State falls to 2-4. Kind of as expected. We are just in a gauntlet right now. Pitt is finally getting some big-time recognition at 6-0. They're number 23. Bowl eligibility is not looking very strong. But, hey. Second straight top 5 team, though. Holy fuck. Alright, so we're actually in a bit of trouble here when it comes to Kai Doxson. The only hope we have is scheduling a Week 10 visit with Pitt. And I mean, that's the chances of that working are so low. So we're going to hope that some magic happens and he somehow commits before Week 8, even though I think we might be in Week 8. Alabama's probably going to jump us on him. But we did get one of our 2 5-star targets, which was quite surprising. Spencer Schrader. Gotta imagine he'd make a decision before then, but Georgia Tech is so close that is a little bit scary. We could try and schedule a visit, but it would have to be Week 9 against Duke, who's a top 10 team. So I'm just not really sure if that's even really worth it when we could go and put hours down at guys at the bottom of our board. Cormier. Still looking good on that front. He should name his top 3 soon. Ingram might as well just take him right off the board. I mean, you can't even see the sliver. I can't believe he's not already in Colorado. So that isn't going to happen. Hofrichter's already here. We're maxed out on Creed. We've surpassed Wake Forest. And now we can rework these 3-star guys that we just added. 1 5-star, a good chunk of 4s. If we get most of our 3-star targets here, I think we're going to be in pretty damn good shape. I mean, this is going to be a little tight, though. Maybe we should, we got locked out on Beijing. I love the playing style deal breaker. I'm going to leave him because we're his only offer. And I think that's got a chance to do some good things for us. So, well, the top 10 gauntlet continues in week number 7. 2-4 Florida State, 5-1 Clemson. Now the top 5 team, the ACC is a little bit tougher than I would have thought. We'll get there. We'll get there someday. It's just not here in 2027. Oh man, I'll tell you what. Yeah, we did miss out on Deion Judge too. Name would have been great. We played a top 5 team really, really fucking tough. Only lost by 2. And with how bad this team is, that's shocking. We have 1 bad loss. That's it. And that was to North Carolina. Everything else has been relatively close. I mean, before that, what was our worst loss? By 10 to Georgia? The number 1 team in the country? We faced the number 1, the number 3, and Clemson actually dropped a spot. They were number 5. They dropped to number 6 here. Another ranked team, but Pittsburgh has finally lost. Cal is under 500. Syracuse is ass. We got to run into a stray one and win these maybe winnable games to have a chance at bowl eligibility. It's not probable, but it's not impossible. Oh? Dude, Doxson still hasn't named his top 3. This asshole. This dragging us along. Now, I'm even surprised we're in that. That seems crazy. Schrader to Georgia Tech. I might just leave it. It's not like we're going to max out our guys on our board. Really worried about Kentucky. Really, really worried about Kentucky when it comes to Cormier. Creed is looking good. A visit with Wake Forest coming up. I don't even know if we have a home game left. We do. Week 10 against Pitt. Of course it would be against Pitt. Not great. Hawkinson, we're going to lead on that. We're probably going to get, at the bare minimum, 1 of these 3-star guys. If we get all 3, that's great. Even 2 or 3 is just going to be fine. Looking good on O'Kine. Looking good on Borgie. We do have a good chunk of hours to work with here, so maybe we start to head in and send the house on more until the top of that board clears up to the point that we can send the house on all of them. All right, well, if the goal is to be bowl eligible, it really has to start now, which is, it's unlikely, but Duke is a 4-3 top 25 team. So you can say there's a chance here. And I mean, we played these ranked opponents so tough outside of North Carolina that maybe we're going to luck into one of these weeks. And it would do a world of good before this stretch of the schedule that we're going to enter right now. So beat Duke, and good things might be able to happen to us. We don't, and make it a bowl game this year. All right, Spencer Schrader, 4-star running back out of Waco, Texas. Starting to get out of state, guys, which is a good thing. Commits to Florida State. That's the only one. Didn't get locked out on anybody. We're 1st and 2nd on everybody on that board. Duke, we're fraudulent. Holy shit. A 79 overall offense put up 52 on a top 25 team, and this defense that should be middle of the pack ACC just handled the Blue Devils. So we sit 3-5. Pitt is in a bit of free fall. They were 6-0. They've lost 2 straight. Then we have Cal. They're under 500. Syracuse is, once again, just so very ass. And even Florida's fallen out of the top 25 now. 4 games remaining. We need to win 3 of them to make a bowl game. So, there's a chance here. You know, especially against Cal, especially against Syracuse, I think we're going to have a pretty good chance at that. You luck into a win against Pitt or Florida, and don't fall off against those 2 ones in the middle, let's lose to Syracuse. That's what's going to happen. We're going to win the next 2, get bowl eligible, or get a game away from bowl eligibility, lose to Syracuse, lose to Florida. That would be how this is going to go, wouldn't it? We head to week number 10, a 6-2 Pitt team against the 3-5 Florida State team coming off a top 25 win. You win this, you got a real good chance of making a bowl game with what's coming up the next 2 weeks. So, go out and win it. You just dropped 52 on a top 25 team. You don't have to do that this time, but win the damn game. Well, that is the second bad loss of the year to a now 7-2 Pitt team. 45-17. 3-6 Cal, 1-8 Syracuse, 5-0 or 5-4 Florida. Got to win all 3 to make a bowl game and start to trend this thing back in the right direction. Have that 1 down year, and then work it back. But got to win out. Only way. Recruiting still set. It's a battle of 3-6 ACC teams. We are on the road, which is a little bit terrifying. But we do have 1 more conference win than Cal. Little win. A little bit of extra confidence heading into this one. So, out we go. Need it, need it, need it. All right, so some good news on the recruiting trail for the first time in some weeks. The 3 stars have started to fall. Dwayne Crowe is the only one. The path to 6-6 is still alive. 4-6 now are the Seminoles after a little bit of a beatdown against 3-7 Cal. 2-8 Syracuse on the road. By the way, all these games that we're playing here to try and get bowl eligible are on the road, which is not exactly ideal. Florida State just got bowl eligibility after a little bit of a slide. 2-8 Syracuse from the Carrier Dome. I know it's not called that anymore. Have to have it to have a chance. This is still going really, really poorly, but we do. I don't know how much it's gonna matter. Oh wait, we already visited him. Oh, that's the bad news. I was gonna say, wait a minute, we have a visit here. No, we don't. Kai Doxson, just a waiting game, really. I don't see any way we pass Alabama, but you just never know. You just never know. Cormier, you saw that coming. Kentucky lingered and lingered and lingered, had that Week 10 visit. We were hoping this one was going to burn by a little bit faster, and it just didn't. Looking good on Marcus Creed. He needs to commit yesterday. Wake Forest with a visit next week. Hawkinson, he could commit this week, so we might get at least one of those quarterbacks. Gessinger, really close. We do miss out on O'Keen, that 1 straight 4-star target we added. No competition here. Little competition from UCF. Mac Bass actually goes to UCF over us. Not great. Darius Truman, 3-star athlete of a power rusher. Tight battle with Ole Miss here. Recruiting battle there. We haven't done very well in those. Ciante Murphy. We're in a battle with USF with a Week 13 visit. I would like to believe we locked that up before that. Bajent, we're locked out again. We're still his only offer. And now we can just... I would assume we have the hours for the rest of these guys now to send the house on all of them and really start to push the issue on these 3 stars towards the bottom of the board. The late additions. Gonna be a little tight. Especially because we don't have any hours to take off of Griffin and Judge, who all of a sudden is unlocked again. Okay. We're his only offered, so how about Griffin? What's Griffin doing? We're still so early on with him. If he names the top 5, we're going to be in good shape. But this is already the top 5, and we're the only school that's offered him. So put those points there. We'll throw 25 over here on Griffin. Hope that's good enough. And that's our recruiting done for this week. It is week 12. There are 2 games left to go. Florida State needs this win to have a chance in a rivalry game in the final week of the regular season to make a bowl game. Can the Seminoles get it done? This would be the one we'd lose. If it's going to happen, I feel like it's going to be this one. On a bit of a run for us right now, trying to finish the season strong. Let's head out to the Carrier Dome. Unbelievably, I didn't think there was going to be a chance that we got him. Marcus Creed, out of Indian Trail, North Carolina, has committed. The memes are going to write themselves if he sticks around and is worth a shit. That's outstanding. Darius Truman, 3-star edge. That's good. 3-star defensive tackle Ciante Murphy, commit. We missed out on Cormier, but again, that was just a long burning process. It just always was trending in that direction. A little bit closer than I would have expected, which is a little bit worrisome. We do head to the Swamp in Gainesville to take on Florida in a game that does determine whether we are going bowling or not. Florida Gators, Florida State Seminoles. Florida would love nothing more than to deny us the postseason. So, and it's a night game. Night game in Gainesville for the right to go to a bowl game. So 24 targets on the board. We lose Cormier to Kentucky. If we're able to get all of these guys, we're locked out of Bajan again. In fact, I don't know if that would have changed. But we're his only offer right now, so there's a chance if we just leave this, he might commit anyway. But we'll just sell out on the remainder of the guys that are down here towards the bottom of the board. Pretty much call it good for in-season recruiting and then wait for the portal. Wait for something else good to happen. The portal's been filled with good players here in these first few seasons. So I'm really not worried about that. And I actually am a little bit curious to see where we rank in terms of total class. We have the 15th best class right now with our first ever 1-star. So a good portal could certainly guarantee us a top 25 class. So it comes down to this. Is there a postseason for the Seminoles or not? We're on one hell of a run for a team that had no expectations. Right now, we're shaping up to possibly improve our record from a year ago, or at the very worst, equal it, which is not what I expected. This team got so much worse in the offseason. One more game, and we can guarantee ourselves to get out on the field with this Florida State Seminoles team. Well, believe it or not, we got all 3 of those 3-star quarterback targets. Whether they're worth a damn or not remains to be seen. But Matthew Hawkinson signs on. Who else we got? Jeremiah Geisinger. Oh, wait, no, that was the other quarterback. So now officially we have all 3. Keenan Borghi, 3-star wide receiver. I think that's our first 3-star receiver. We do have another one. Jared Gaithier, cornerback. You need those. Any bad news? No. Dog, what? Okay, so the bad news is that we lost. It remains to be seen just by how much. But Cam Davis, who tried to transfer out of Florida State, and essentially did after year 2, but we were able to bring him back in the portal, has set the single-season Florida State rushing touchdowns record. We get blasted in the final game. Oh, my God, look at how close. You just can't help. You just can't help but go back and take a look at how many close ones there were. It's hard to consider this Georgia one a close game. It's a 2-score game, but they were the number 2 team in the country at that time, and they only have 1 loss on the year. We only lost by 10. Illinois, that's a 1-score game. They do finish 3-9. That's not a very glowing review. But then you only lose by 4 to a team that finishes the regular season inside the top 25 in Miami. beat Georgia Tech. You lose to North Carolina. They fell off towards the end. You lose to Clemson. That's top 25. Mash Duke. They're bowl eligible. We're not. Pitt rebounded tremendously, even though they did blast us. But they were on a bit of a slide. They had fallen out of the top 25, and they're going to have a chance to go to the postseason here, the playoff especially, if things fall their way. Cal, 3-9, blew them out. Syracuse, close, but still. And yet another close loss there at the end of the season. This team shouldn't have been that close in a lot of those games. It's a bit of a surprise to see us there. Finish really terribly in the ACC, but honestly, it surpassed. Year 3 surpassed expectations. I was thinking 2-10. It shocks me that Doxson is still here. He's going to go to Alabama, but the fact that we've gotten this thing this close, man, we almost hit on 2 of 2 5-star targets, and we did get the 1 in Gaffney, so we're going to hope for the best when it comes to him. Whole bunch of commits here. Quincy Richards still hanging around. We're going to get him. There's not really much of a doubt about that. Bajent is still hanging on. He's still got us locked out, but unless somebody else offers him and starts to make progress on him, Shaquille Bajent is going to be a Seminole. Battle with West Virginia here for cornerback Sidney Beckford. Looking good for us right now. West Virginia does not have a visit. Gates here signed on. Cushing, that's looking good. We got Louisville competing with us there. Griffin, that's tight with Auburn. A little bit tight. Looking good on Judge. Brightwell, oddly enough, is probably going to go to Tulane here. Going to go to a group of 5 instead of a power conference school, it does appear, but hey, you never know. Maybe he sticks around until the off-season stage. We can try and schedule a visit and try and make something happen. But honestly, I'm not disappointed with this class at all. Quincy Richard, the 3-star receiver, he has committed. We got a couple more, maybe. Sidney Beckford. Brightwell does go to Tulane. Didn't stick around, but is what it is. I mean, we hit on more targets than we lost this year, for sure. How did we do anything with this? Kai Doxson could still come here. Now, it's probably just EA getting our hopes up. But that's a 5-star corner that might be able to come here. And it's just a matter of what the game decides. Essentially, there's nothing else to do at this stage. You can't send him anymore. Oh, my. I am shocked. Bajent, still no other offers. Cushing, closing in. Griffin, not really that much has changed. That's out of Brightwell going to Tulane, but wow, that is the big shock right there. Didn't do anything extra, couldn't do anything extra. And a 5-star corner, the top player in the state of Idaho, is possibly going to come to Florida State. So it's not great to see Deion Judge here. That doesn't give me a lot of hope that Doxson is coming. There's actually no move on him. It's still in that battle, as far as we can tell. Spencer Cushing commits. Is there bad news? No. That 5-star is still sitting there thinking about us. Now we level up again. It says we got 10 coach points. I want to see if we did, to avoid what we had happen last year with CMU, as we have the Heisman Trophy. We'll get to that in a minute. Darian Mensah. Holy fucking shit. 5,000 yards in a college football season with 56 touchdowns and a completion percentage of 70. That's fuck Heisman numbers. Those are NFL MVP numbers. In a 12-game season, he threw for 5,000 yards. All right, just to see if he is still there, and he is. I mean, I don't know what's going to break the back here on this. We lead right now, but I mean, those meters are just maxed out. Just in a recruiting battle, and I don't really know what else there is to do on that sort of stuff. I wonder if we just, like, back off. I'm not sure I want to risk it. I wonder if I backed off, send the house, and then sent it again, if it would give me just that sliver of an extra boost to get over the top. 20... I mean, we're still looking good on Bajan. He's still got us locked out, but we're closing in on his top 3. Doesn't say a lot about him, unfortunately. Griffin, Auburn jumped us. Wait and see. Yeah, Ohio State won the national championship in 2024. They win it in 2027 after going 16-0. Ole Miss 13-4 on the year for the number 7 team in the country, at least at that ranking. Second national championship for Ryan Day, but the important part is that he got cucked in Road to Glory, so that was fun. All right, well, before we try and add even more to this class, we do have to go through the players leaving screen, which is not exactly great, but really, it could be it could be worse. And actually, look at this. We have an extremely high chance at persuading Kai Bates to return for his redshirt senior season. That is an easy one to do. He will stay. And now let's just make sure that we're doing the right thing here. I think even though Michael Knott is low, it's a redshirt freshman, impact dev is not great. I feel like we use one on that just because of the chance. It doesn't work. So now we head back to the top of the board, and it just seems so easy with 2 persuasions left to go after those 2 80 overalls, redshirt sophomore and a junior. Even our kicker is trying to transfer. It's a good thing we got one in this class. No good there on Pritchard. Chase Lofton also doesn't work. So we go 1 of 4. But we do save the best player that was trying to leave this team from leaving. So that is big. Kai Bates back for another year. He will definitely start at corner heading into year 4. Before we get into off-season recruiting, we do take a look at our draft results. No first-rounders this year. Most single-season touchdowns in Florida State history. Cam Davis goes in the 2nd round. LaWayne McCoy, round 5. Kamari Moulton, round 7, as well as KJ Sampson. And now we really settle in for off-season recruiting because we're going to be busy in the portal. Obviously, we still want to get Doxson signed on to FSU. I don't know what else we can do if there's going to be anything. I think it's just going to be a sim and pray. But, I mean, let's see what the portal's like. The portal has been really stacked the first 2 years. We'll see if that's the same case here. The hours are aplenty. We will have more than enough to get this done. At least everything that we want to do. I would think so anyway. 33 players in this class. Our classes in the first 2 years have been pretty light, so. We actually might be a little short on, like, the last player. But, I mean, these are 2 stars. I don't think they're going to complain necessarily about having anything. You know, before we get too far, let's take a look at this. Take a look at this. That visit has already happened. We do still lead in terms of what we can see on our screen with Kai Doxson. So about the... Oh, wait a darn second. I am glad I realized we weren't going to do anything with him. That all got backed out. Oh, very, very, very glad I came back up here. Holy. Bajent might just commit anyway. Leading on Griffin. And now into the new additions. So we are going to be, I think, a little bit short on getting everybody. Actually, no, we won't be. We will be okay. This is new. This is new. I have never, ever seen this. 2 teams locked in it, and Doxson has not committed. Those meters have been maxed out for weeks. Oh, you are very much right. You are very much right. Alabama didn't offer him, but that doesn't mean he couldn't go there if he wanted. Maybe that's maybe that's why this has gone on so long. He really doesn't want to go to Florida State, but I can't believe that. 5-star corner, and we are the only team to offer him at this current moment in time. I know there were plenty before, but my goodness. So take a look at what we've got going on here. Bajan still just lingering. He really doesn't want to go here. Griffin, very close still with Auburn. They have a visit with him this week, so we are boned on that front. It's possible. I don't really know if the AI does that. Larry Brown, Bama. You know what? I wonder if they pulled. Now, wait a minute. He came from Bama. That's how we got Cam Davis back. It doesn't make any sense, but that is exactly how. He left, and yet just went back to the same school. Well, all we can do is hope and pray. Does Griffin have time spent? Yes, he does. I know that was the week prior, but still, I wanted to look at that. Brandon Cunningham, 2-star center, Orange Park, Florida, is a Florida State Seminole. Who else? 2-star linebacker, Shaquem Ames. 3-star safety, DJ Morton. We're heading in the right direction. 2-star safety, John Peel. 2-star safety, Broden Bishop. That is it. We lose out on Brown to Alabama. He just went back to the same school. I don't know why that's a thing. I'm fairly certain that's not legal unless something changed that I didn't know about. I'm really confused as to what's going on with this. This is a 5-star, and I've never seen this before. We scouted him. He's not a bust. He's not a gem, but he's not a bust. And he's just lingering. Like, I feel like he wants to go to Alabama so bad that it's just, he just will not go. Bajan is probably going to be one of those that commit to us, even though he really, really doesn't want to. Griffin to Auburn at safety. Sucks to miss out on the 3 stars. Larry Brown just goes back to where he came from, even though we wanted to come here, but he goes back to Alabama. We do have a 4-star tight end, Ethan Barber, that is looking fairly good. Ohio State hasn't offered him, so good chance he comes here. Either that or he's walking on at Ohio State. 2-star Bryce Lett, looking good, and looking good. We sim the final week of off-season recruiting. Actually, it is not the final week. There's one more week left. We could do this all over again. All right, so this is a pretty big transfer portal win. Ethan Barber out of Alpharetta, Georgia, 4-star tight end, is here for Florida State. Who else? 2-star Bryce Lett. 2-star Mike linebacker, Gideon Odigizawa, I think. Maybe. 2-star linebacker, Zayden Maratagi? Maybe? Possibly? 2-star safety, Cameron Moats. That is it. There's no bad news. We head into the final week of this off-season window. I am just so confused as to what is going on here. If we don't land Doxson, I am going to be so upset. Yanked our chain for this long. Still locked out on Bajan. Wait, oh, Still lucked out on Bajent. He's going to sign. He just doesn't have any other offers. So we're waiting out a 3-star in Bajent and a 5-star in Dachshund in the final week of off-season recruiting. So Shaquille Bajent does sign on out of Powder Springs, Georgia, defensive tackle. And the final addition to the class. He stuck around on our board despite I didn't think we had a chance at him halfway through the regular season. I'd pretty much given up of trying to jump Alabama, but we did it. Kai Dachshund, despite probably not wanting to be here, has committed to the Florida State Seminoles. That's going to be really interesting to see what that does for our class. This is a 2 5-star class. In this, our first year that we ever got a 5-star to come here. It's a big win, and hopefully a program builder over the next 4 years. Massive. I hope he sticks around all 4. I hope he's good. That's another key, very key part. Now, we scouted him. He wasn't a bust, but that doesn't always mean everything. Hopefully a high overall, decent depth trait. Could turn this guy into a real star here for sure. But 2 5-stars on the defensive side of the ball. It's big stuff. All right, so we'll take a look at the top classes here. Looks like we fell a little bit. We do still finish with the top 25 class. 2 5-stars, 6 4-stars, 15 3-stars. The 8 2-stars probably don't help, but we really needed some bodies on this team. It's a pretty full class, and I mean, you would think that is 8 instant starters unless something goes horribly wrong. So 8 instant starters and something to build on in the future, because once we took over, it was all upperclassmen, you know, juniors, seniors, whatever. This is the first year it really feels like we're building in the right direction. So, big year for the class. So we are going to wrap up this Season 3 sim right there. Simply because I do want to take a closer look, and it's a little bit time-consuming to do position changes on stream. So we will stop that right there. When we pick you up next time, we will be at the start of Season 4. Another recruiting class. I don't think I'm going to go any more aggressive than what we did this past season in terms of the class. 1 or 2 5-stars, and then just the rest 4-stars, and pretty much cap out, barring an increase in hours, at about 15 targets. I think that's just the best way to do it. And then fill in the board with the 3-stars later. This worked better than anything we did in the first 2 years, so that is going to be the way to go. Big stuff happening at Florida State. Best class yet, and we move on to Season 4, and just hope that these new players are good enough to at least get us to a bowl game, or at least have something to look forward to in the future. So I would say year 3 leaves a lot better of a taste in our mouth than year 2 did. Year 2 was pretty bad, with being 5-3. Almost, you feel like you're a lock to make a bowl game. You don't make a bowl game, you lose out. And then this year, we gave it a run towards the end to try and make a bowl game, but this class certainly makes you feel a little bit better about what we did.